Okay, let's get started. So welcome to the problem solving session for problem solving for programming in C, week 4. Uh, so in this session, we will look at a number of problems related to if-else and loops. So I have both types of questions where first we can have some multiple choice questions and also some programming questions. So let us first look at a bunch of questions related to if and else, and I will let you answer the questions, and I'll just tell you the question and then I will wait for you to answer. You can unmute yourself or you can write your answer in the chat. Both are fine. So the first problem here, as you can see on your screen, is so the question. So what you have to answer is that what is the output of this program? First, there is an if statement with condition at 0. Then there is a if statement with condition 0.5, and then if statement with minus 0.5. So you have to tell that what will be the output of this program. So, any answers? Or do you know if and else conditions?
Yes, ma'am. The first line C programming will not be printed as because condition is 0, and second will be printed in Java.
Okay. Last one.
And third also.
Third will be printed. Right. Okay. Yeah, that's right, because anything which is not 0 is considered true. So
Yes.
only the first print statement will not be executed because the condition is false, so the control will not go here. It will go and check the other if condition, which will be true, and even if it is minus, if it's a negative number, still it will be true, and it will print Java and then Python in the next line. I'm not going to run it. If you want me to run and show, then I can do that, but I think simple. So let's look at the other problem, because I want to cover a number of problems in this session, so I will try to be quick. But if you want me to stop and execute some particular program, then you should let me know. Okay. So again, the question is, what is the output of this program? Here we have two variables, t and k, and then we are printing the value of k after doing some there's some expression. Do you recognize this expression?
Yes, ma'am. It's ternary operator and the output will be 10.
Yeah. So first, so it's a ternary operator which is same as if and else. So you should read it like this is the condition, p is greater than 10. This is the condition. If the condition is true, then this part will be executed, or like basically this part is where the control will go. Otherwise, the column is like otherwise, else this value. So here 2 is greater than 10, it's false. So therefore k will be assigned to 10, and that. The next one here is, what's the output of this program? We have first a variable s is equal to 20. Then in the if we have some expression s equal to 19, and then we are asked what will it be?
It will print right.
Okay, why is that?
S is equal to 19 is equal to the assignment operator, and 19 is assigned to S again.
Okay.
And it अगर ये पूरा मतलब completely assign कर लेगा तो ये return करेगा 1, which is true for if condition.
Right. So here it's not equal, but it's an equal to operator, which is we can say always true. It's a true it is always true, because it is always going to be able to assign. If it were equal, then it would have been a false condition. So the printf will sixth line will be printed and the print output will be right. Now for this program, you'll have to do some calculation. It's okay if you don't want to do the calculation, you can just tell me the order in which the operations will happen. Because I think I'll have to.
yes sir, इसमें सबसे पहले जो c into a है वो सबसे पहले एग्जीक्यूट होगा, उसके बाद से डिवाइड होगा c into a divided by d and then percentage b, इतना मॉड्यूल होगा ये लास्ट वाला 3 एग्जीक्यूट होने के बाद, उसमें उसके बाद से ये फिर माइनस होगा, सबसे पहले a माइनस उसके बाद
Right. So this is according to the precedence of operators and associativity. So when so multiplicative operators, which is multiplication, division, and modulo, have higher precedence compared to the additive operators plus and minus. So first, the multiplicative operations will be done, and they're done in the associativity is also like first multiplication. No, it's left to right. So the associativity is left to right. So the leftmost operation will be done first, and then towards the right. So C into A will happen first, then divide by D, then modulo by D. After that, plus and minus have the same precedence, but the associativity is again left to right. So that's why first minus will happen and then plus will happen. And we will get some answer. Okay, so these were questions from week 3, I think. Now, okay. So is the screen visible? Like, is it big enough, or should I go in the full screen mode? Okay, so the question is, with the loop which is executed at least once, it's while loop, do while loop, for loop, none of the above.
option of this problem is do while loop.
Right. Yeah, so the do while loop, so the loop is as such that first there is do, after that there are braces, and anything between those is always executed, and only after that the condition is checked. That is, there is first do, then there will be while loop. Yeah, so the do while loop will be first there will be do, and then let's say there is a print statement here. Okay, and then afterwards there will be a condition, which can be while one. While one means that it will be an infinite loop, so it will run forever and it will keep printing here. And if the condition is 0, then here will be printed only 1. Okay? So this is different from other loops like while and for, because there first the condition is checked and only after that the statements are executed. Okay. So the next one, we have already done a question on this. In the C programming language, negative numbers when used in if-else conditional checking are treated as true, false, depends on the implementation, and none of. Praveen, would you like to answer this question?
It is treated as true.
Yeah, so the negative numbers or any number which is not 0 is treated as true when used in the conditional if-else statement. Okay, Next problem is choose the correct statements to use if a statement in C language.
Option C is correct, as else if is the optional with the if statement.
Yeah.
We can also use if statement in single.
Right. Like we can use if without else and if else if. So these are not compulsory to be used, but they are just optional when required. This is not very clear. Can you see this picture?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what is
Yes,
the output of the following C program? Here, first we have a variable a equal to 1, then we have a minus minus. This is minus minus. Okay? And then
it will print true, and then in next line it print false. It is increment and decrement operator, and a minus minus will decrease 1 to 0 before using it. ये सबसे पहले 1 रिटर्न करेगा, तो इसलिए पहला वाला कंडीशन ट्रू होगा, और दूसरे बार में जो कि 0 हो चुका है, तो ये प्री इंक्रीमेंट है, तो फिर वो 1 हो जाएगा, तो ये भी कंडीशन ट्रू होगा, इसलिए
yeah, that's right. So this first one is a post decrement, so which means that first it is going to use the original value of a for condition checking, which is 1. So this if statement is actually like if of a. So if of a is like if of 1, which will be true. So this condition will be this printf statement will be executed. It will print true, but after that the value of a will become 0 because it was decremented. Now here again, now the value is 0, but there is a pre-increment. Increment is happening before the value is being used. So value will be incremented from 0 to 1, and then the condition will again be true, and it will print 4. So both of them will be printed in 2 different lines. Then the next problem is, in the following example, tell which statement is correct. You don't have to tell the output, you have to tell that which statement is correct. And this is the logical AND operator. Praveen, do you know about AND operator?
मैम हमें लगता है कि मतलब मैं कंफर्म नहीं हूँ, लेकिन सबसे पहले कंडीशन 1 को मतलब इवैल्यूएट करेगा, क्योंकि ये दोनों ब्रैकेट लगे हुए हैं और ये बच्चा वो एंड ऑपरेटर का शायद मैं कंफ्यूज हूँ, शायद लेफ्ट टू राइट या लेफ्ट टू यूज है, इसलिए सबसे पहले कंडीशन 1 को चेक करेगा, देन कंडीशन 2 को चेक करेगा.
Okay, then which option?
Then option C.
Okay. Not A.
पढ़ने दिए ऑप्शन पढ़े. हाँ, ऑप्शन E सही.
And how is it different from option C?
ऑप्शन C मतलब कि ऑप्शन C कह रहा है कि कंडीशन 1 ट्रू होगा तभी प्रिंट होगा, जबकि कंडीशन 1
No,
जो
print.
ऑप्शन E है
No, it's not talking about print. It's just talking about the conditions will be checked or not. In what order the conditions
अच्छा,
are
हाँ,
going to be checked.
ये सब दोनों दोनों कंडीशन चेक होगा और उसमें सबसे पहले कंडीशन 1 चेक होगा, देन कंडीशन 2 चेक होगा.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So both A and C seems to be correct, like close to correct. Like one of them is correct, of course. So, but the option which is correct is actually C, because in AND, it's because of how the AND operation works. So if one of the conditions is false,
Yes, ma'am. Then second condition of that we will repeat.
yeah, so then we do not need to check the next condition because the overall result will be false. So if condition 1 is true, only then we check condition 2. So that's why option C is correct. Condition 1 will be evaluated first. That's right. And condition 2 will be evaluated only if the condition 1 is true. So based on this, remember this, based on this, I think we have one more question later and where this fact will be used. Which of the following is the correct syntax for ternary operator in C language?
A.
Right. So the first one is, first there is a condition, then there is expression 1 and colon and expression 2. If the condition is true, then expression 1 is executed, and if false, then expression 2 is executed. Same like if and else. Then problem 7, again it's a little blurred. So here first we have a variable x equal to 0. Then we have printf 3, we're printing value 3, and we're assigning something to x, and then we're printing x here. So now you have to tell what will be the output of this program.
I think it should be print either 1 or either 3.
1 or 3. Okay. So there are two print statements, right? So it should print two values. First it will print 3 here because of this printf. After that it is going to print the value of x. So what do you think will be the value of x? X was initialized to 0, and then x is assigned some value, which is the output of the printf statement. So here first this printf statement is executed and it prints 3.
Yes, ma'am.
After that, so the printf function, what it does is that its return type is actually an integer. So it returns the number of characters that are printed as output. Okay. Here it is printing only one character, which is 3. So it
So
returns
it will
1.
print 31.
Yeah. So then in the next line, here it will print value of x as 1. So the output will be 31. So remember that printf returns the number of characters that it prints. Okay. Okay, so let's go to question.
Then scanner तब क्या reader करता?
Scanf reads the characters that you enter on the terminal input as input to the terminal.
ये समझने के लिए return क्या करता? ये फिर तो उनको से return करता.
Yeah, that I'm not sure. I'll have to check the definition of the scanf function.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll find that. Yeah, it also returns the number of input values that are scanned. Now, still unsure if it is the number of characters or just the number of values. But yeah, we can
Okay.
find it. Now let's look at the other problems. Okay.
मैम मुझे यहाँ पे फॉर्मेट लिखा हुआ है प्रिंट करके, उसका क्या मतलब?
It's just it's actually nothing. It's what this basically this editor which I'm using, that is basically adding some information here that this is the format identifier. I mean, actually it's just being added by this what is called, it's IDE, Visual Studio, but it's not supposed to be. You can think of it like some annotation it is adding, but it is not part of the C program.
Okay.
To make it more readable, like it is telling that this is the format of the print. So here again we are using this and ampersand, double ampersand and operator, and so as we had discussed one question previously about it, we you should like look at this carefully and after that try to answer this question, that if I is equal to 0, j is equal to 1 initially, then print what will be the output of these two print statements.
सबसे पहले तो 0 प्रिंट करेगा एंड सेकंड में ये 1 and 2, the value of I is 1 and j is 2.
Again, like you're close.
0 and 2.
So the first is correct actually. It is going to print 0 here because I is 0. So since I is 0, so the condition will be false. So it will print 0. But then value of I and j, what will be the value of I and j?
The value of I will be 1 and the value of j will be 2.
No, it's not correct. We had seen one question where we discussed that condition 1 is evaluated first and condition 2 is evaluated only when condition 1 is true.
Then the value is I of j is 1 and 1.
Right. Yeah, that's correct. So the output of this program will be 0 for this printer. And for this one, it is 1, 1.
And 1.
Yeah. So it is because when this condition is evaluated here, this is a condition. So then I is initially 0. And since it's a post increment, so I will be 0 only when the condition is being checked. 0 means false. So since it's false, it is not going to check the next part of this condition. So this statement plus j is never executed. So, but this was executed and 0 became 1. The value of I became 1. And then when this printf statement is executed, it will print 1, 1. Let's look at the next problem. We have similar kind of problem. What will be the output? What will the values of A, B, and C? You don't need to calculate it, but you can tell me the value of A, B, and C. You can tell me how it will be calculated.
मैं इसलिए मैं कंफ्यूज हूँ कि ये जो डिवीजन ऑपरेटर है और ये इंक्रीमेंट ऑपरेटर, इन दोनों में प्रेसिडेंट किसका हाई है?
Division and increment. Okay, so the increment, so the unary operators like plus and minus, they have higher precedence than the multiplicative operators. Okay, so these minus operators have higher precedence than multiplication, division, modulo, and this is actually the assignment operator, which has the lowest precedence among all of them. This is not the division, this is the assignment.
Then I think firstly it will be executed B minus minus and then plus plus A.
Okay.
and then C divided by this values, and
So plus first B minus minus is executed because right to left associativity is there for unary. And then plus plus A will be executed. After that, multiplication will happen.
this will be 6 into 7,
Okay.
and then C divided by A, and then value into 7.
C divided by A.
C divided by मतलब जो plus plus है.
Okay.
I think it will be C divided by 6 and then into 7.
We're saying this will happen. And I think the order that you are telling is different.
Yes. Left to right associativity होता है, bracket में नहीं होता.
Which is not correct. So what you told, two things. Okay, then fine. Okay, let's. What about A and B? What will be the values of A and B? Let's talk about it.
The value of A will be
Here, when we print A and B, what will be the values of A and B?
I think 6 and 6.
Right, that's correct. So the values of A and B will be 6 and 6. Now let's see how to calculate the value of C. So you will write that first this B minus minus operation will happen. Sorry, yeah, B minus minus. But here, since it's a forced operator, so first the value 7 will be used, not 6. So 7 will be used here, and then it will be decremented to 6. Here, 5, value of A is 5 initially, but it is pre-increment, so it will be incremented to 6. So the values which are being used here are 6 and 7. And then those two values are actually multiplied with each other. 6 into 7 will happen first, and then this will happen last, because this is the assignment operator and it has the lowest precedence. So this divide equal to is also a type of assignment operator. So whenever you see plus equal, minus equal, star equal, divide equal, etc., they will these happens in the last. So this you can see it is like C divided by this expression which is there. It will be same as this one. So this brackets will be on this side and not the other side. That's good. So then C will be computed as 111 divided by 6 into 7. And value of A and B will become 6. And if you calculate this, C will be 2.
तो ये ऐसा होगा कि C is equal to C divided by this, and
Right.
सबसे पहले
I'm saying that this is this expression on 6 and expression on 8, 9, line 8, 6 and 8, they are equivalent. If you write expression on 8, that will have same result as expression on 6.
yes ma'am.
So the confusion that you're having is because of this division equal. So the division operator is the slash, which is the division operator, is different, and slash equal is an assignment operator.
Yes ma'am. Okay ma'am, clear.
Yeah, in this the RHS is always computed first, and then it will be used as the divisor for the LHS. So the answer here will be 6, 6, 2. Now we have 4 programming problems. Here we are going to, like, very simple problems. We have to write C programs for these. And the first one here is that, we move into the next one. Yeah, so the first one is that write a C program to find the smallest among 3 numbers, where the numbers are integer, using nested if-else statements. And the test cases, so as the input you are given 3 numbers, 3 integer numbers. Like for the first test case, we have 9 minus 9 minus 10, and we have to output the smallest of the 3. Here it is minus 10. In test case 2, input values are 100, 200, 400, and the smallest value is 100. For test case 3, the values are 90, 50, minus 81, and the output is minus 81. So, and you are asked to write program using nested if-else statements. So how do you think that this can be done?
इसको लिखना है.
You can just tell me here the logic in words, or if you want, you can also write in the chat box. But it's okay if you can just tell me that what will be the if statements, and their conditions.
सबसे पहले हम लोग इसमें एंड ऑपरेटर का यूज करेंगे.
Okay.
और हाँ, सबसे प्रथम इफ कंडीशन लेंगे और उसमें कोई नंबर, मान लीजिए 3 वेरिएबल है ए बी सी, जिसमें हमने तीनों नंबर को इंटीजर को रखा हुआ.
Right.
तो सबसे पहले इफ कंडीशन लेंगे कि ए लेस देन बी एंड ए लेस देन सी, देन वी विल प्रिंट ए. एंड इन सेकंड else if condition we write b less than a and b less than c, then we will print b and else we will print c.
Right. That's right. Yeah, that will be. So what you're saying is that we first check if A is less than B and it is also less than C. Then we print A. Then if it is not true, then either B is less or C is less. So we again similarly check. Else if B is less than A and B is less than C, then print B. Else
Print c.
Right. So yeah, that's perfect answer. And I have one more solution here, and we can just look at this. I'm not saying that this is better or that is, but just one another way to do the same problem. So the problem is to find the smallest number among 3 given integer.
Yes, हम इसको nested if else से करना था, मैं ध्यान दीजिए.
No, but what you said was also fine, I think. It's using if else, that is all right. So we have to use nested if else conditions. So first we take 3 variables a, b, c. Then we take the input from the command line. Let's say using the scanf function, and in values a, and assign them to a, b, and c integer values. Then we have, in the first condition, we are checking if a is less than b. If that is true, then we here, as you said, the and. So here two if conditions are basically these two together are doing that and. If a is less than b, then again we check if a is less than c also. That means a is the smallest, so we'll print a. Now if a was less than b, but a was not less than c. So if a was less than b here, but a was greater than c, that means a is less than b and c is less than a. So c is the smallest here. This means c is less than a, less than b, and this one is when A is less than B is less than C. And here if A was not less than B, then we go to the else. That means now we are checking for B. So B is less than A here. B is less than A. So we are here check with C. That is B less than C or not. So if B is less than C, then, but here we do not know actually. That is also not clear here actually. I should not write like this. This one I think we know A is less than B and C. For this one the order is clear, but for this one, this case, here A is less than B and A is less than C, but we do not know any relation between B and C, whether which one of them is smaller. So that's why a comma here. Also here we know B is less than A, and then if B is also less than C, then B will be the smallest. We print that, but we do not know anything about A and C. And the last one is what is saying B is less than A, and here C is less than B. Okay. So this was the program to print the smallest of the three numbers, and we can have multiple different ways to do this as one was suggested by me. Now let's look at the next problem where we have to write a program to find whether a given character is a vowel or a consonant. And we take as input a character, and the input character can be in uppercase or lowercase. So there are only 5 vowels in English alphabets, which is A, E, I, O, U, and others, all the other 21 alphabets are consonants. So the test case in that as a input to your program, you will take a character like here O in the first test case, and then you're going to print output whether the character is a vowel or consonant. So O is a vowel, so output is O is vowel. When in the test case 2, when the input is capital S, then you're going to print that capital S is a consonant. And the input characters can be in uppercase or lowercase. So if you're given a capital U, then also you have to print that it is a vowel. So again, you can tell me that how will you write a program for this?
Yes, it can be uppercase and lowercase.
Yeah.
And firstly we सबसे पहले if स्टेटमेंट लेंगे और उसमें जो कैरेक्टर मान किस वेरिएबल में ले रहा है तो उसको हम कंपैरिजन करेंगे ए आई ओ यू इन बोथ केस अपर एंड लोअर by using or operator and by the SMF.
Right. So how many or operators will be used? And
5 or operator.
only 5.
Yeah, as there is 5 vowel.
But we have to do it for both uppercase and lowercase. So can you just spell it out that what will be the if condition? Let's say your character input is in variable ch, then what will you check? So we are going to check that first, like ch is equal to a character, then or ch is equal to e, and similarly. Like in this manner we can do. I mean, simply we can do like this. There can be other ways also.
We can write like this.
Yeah. We can here just checking that ph is equal to a, then or it's equal to small e, then equal to small I, O, U, and then same for capital value. Capital V, capital V, capital V. And if the condition is true, because we are using OR operator, so if CH is equal to any one of them, then we print it's a vowel, otherwise we print it's a consonant. Let's look at the problem number 3, where we have to write a program to calculate the sum of first and last digit of a number. For example, if the number is 1, 2, 3, 4, then the sum of its first and last digits, which is 1 and 4, is 5. First digit is 1, last digit is 4. Other test cases can be like 95132. If that's the input number, then the output is 11. 9 plus 2. If input is 92, then the output is 11. Again. And if it's 200, then the output is.
Yes, ma'am. Firstly, तुरंत हम एक वेरिएबल में नंबर को लेंगे और उसको मॉडल ऑपरेटर से 10 से डिवाइड करेंगे, तो जो रिमाइंडर बचेगा उसको हम एक वेरिएबल में ले लेंगे और उसके बाद हम व्हाइल लूप लगा करके डिजिट को एक्सट्रैक्ट करेंगे अप टू लास्ट डिजिट। तो जो लास्ट डिजिट बचेगा और जो पहला डिजिट होगा उसको ऐड करके प्रिंट करा सकते हैं।
Right. How will you extract the value first digit?
By using while loop and
While loop.
if हाँ अगर आपने मान लीजिए कि n में हमने उस नंबर को स्टोर कराया तो while n greater than 9 का यूज करके और लूप में हम n is equal to n divided by 10 कर सकते हैं।
Right. Absolutely correct. So let's say we use the variable capital N for this input value, and we have two other variables called first digit and last digit, initialized with 0, and then we take as input this variable like input N. Firstly, we first use the modulo operator to get the last digit, modulo 10 we do to get the last digit. After that, we have the while loop. In the while loop, we are going to check if n is greater than equal to 10, then we are going to divide it by 10. Will it be greater than equal? It's only greater.
Greater than equal to, as 10 is a two-digit number.
Yeah, so yeah, right. We have to get the last number. So after that, here we have n greater than equal to 10, and then we divide it by 10, and the value which is remaining, which is the plus, that will be assigned to that will be the first digit. Like if the value here is 92, then first we get here 92 modulo 10 will be 2, which will be assigned to last digit. N is still 92 because we have not changed it. And then n 92 is greater than equal to 10. Then we do 92 divided by 10, which gives us 9. So n is now 9. Now 9 is greater than equal to 10. No. We come out of the while loop, and now first digit is equal to 9. And then we sum the values. Now here in this program, actually, will this work correctly if the value of n is 5?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
In case of 5, it will return 10.
Yeah, it will not work correctly. Right? And that is because first it is going to here this line number 39 will be executed, and 5 modulo 10 will be 5. So last digit here is 5. Now while 5 is greater than equal to 10, it's going to check, which will be false. But again, it is going to assign to the first digit as 5. So 5 plus 5 will become 10. which is incorrect, because if there is only one digit, then is that correct or incorrect? That's correct, I guess. And myself, okay, because that's the digit itself is like the first and the last. I earlier thought that it should not be 10, but now I think it should be 10 only, because the same digit is the first and the last. Fine. So this is the last problem for today's session. So here we have to write a program to find power of a number using loops. You are given the base and the exponent. So for example, if you're given two numbers, so basically you'll be given two numbers, and the first one is the base, second one is the exponent. The base is greater than 0, exponent can be 0 also, and it is greater than equal to 0. So for example, if the base is 2, exponent is 2, then 2 to power 2 is 4, so it should print 4. 3 to power 4 is 81, 5 to power 4 is 625, and 100 to the power is 0 is 1. So your output, so your program should take us to input as two values, two values, whole numbers, and it should output the power of the base to the exponent. So how will you do this?
By using loops, we can do it.
Yeah, we have to use both. How can you compute the power of how will you compute 2 to power 2
By
mathematically?
multiplying 2 into 2.
Right, you will multiply 2 times. Now how will you compute 3 to the power 4?
We can multiply 3 into 3 continuously 4 times.
Right. Yeah, that's correct. So we have to do that using program. We have to do this repeated multiplication of the base exponent times. And we also need to take care of one one case when the exponent value is 0, then we need to output 1.
तो सबसे पहले तो हम if else एक कंडीशन लगा सकते हैं इसमें if में हम ये रखें कि अगर एक्सपोनेंट 0 के बराबर हो तो प्रिंट कर दे 1 एंड else में हम लूप लगाएं कि फॉर i is equal to जो स्टार्टिंग ऑफ बेस से हो और लेस देन या इक्वल टू एक्सपोनेंट के बराबर हो एंड i is equal to i प्लस बेस, ऐसा कुछ करके हम लगा सकते हैं, उसको मल्टीप्लाई करें तो ऐसा हो सकता है.
So the first thing is correct, that we have to first check the exponent. If the exponent is 0, then we will output 1. Okay? Then next, if the exponent is not 0, it's greater than equal to 1, then we are going to use the loop to continuously multiply the base to itself. If the exponent is 2, then we have to multiply the base with itself twice. If the exponent is 4, then we have to multiply the base with itself 4 times. Now, what will be so you suggested that we can use the while loop. Now, what will be the condition in the while loop? we are going to use some while loop here. In this, let's say there is one result that we are trying to compute. It can be, what should I initialize the result to? It's the else part of the program. When the exponent is non-zero, then the result can be either 1, or you can initialize it to base. You can initialize it to 1 also, you can initialize it to base. Now you have the base. Now you need to multiply the base with itself. So that means you will do here something like result equal to result times base. That is what you are doing inside the while loop. Okay. Now you have to tell that what will be the condition here. Am I audible?
Is that
Okay. Okay, so I'll repeat the question once so that others can also try. So the question is that write a C program to find power of a number using loop. And as an input, you are given two numbers. Well, let's call the first number as base and the next one is an exponent. Okay, for example, if the first number is 2 and the next one is 2, then you have to calculate 2 to power 2. So therefore your output should be like 4 here. 2 to power 2 is 4. Another test case is, let's say the base is 3 and the exponent is 4. So you have to calculate 3 to power 4, which is 81. So your program should output 81. Should compute 3 to power 4 and output 81. If the input values are 100 and 0, then your program will compute 100 to power 0, which is 1, and output 1. Now you have to write a C program to compute power of a number, and you can use loops to do so. So how will you do that? First of all, whenever you want to write a program, first try to think that how will you solve the problem. If you don't even know how to solve the problem yourself, then you cannot write a program to do that. So if you want to calculate 2 to power 2 yourself, then how will you do it? You will take the base, which is 2 here, multiply it 2 times. 2 into 2 will give you 4. When you want to calculate 3 to power 4, you will multiply 3 with itself 4 times. 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. Because power is 4 here. So that will give you 81. And 5 to power 4, you have to multiply again 5 4 times. 5 into 5 into 5 into 5. So here, as you can see, we are doing some operation repeatedly, which is the multiplication operation on the base. That's why we use loops here. We use loops generally when we want to do some operation repeatedly and some particular number of times, let's say. So I will, does anyone would like to try and answer that how can you solve this? We are just going to discuss, like you can tell me in words. I'm not expecting a program here. I'm just, you can, like, for example, earlier Rohit was trying to answer and he was saying that we can use a while loop, and inside the while loop we are going to multiply the result with the base. Now the question is that what will be the condition in the while loop, and how will you ensure that the while loop executes like enough number of times, which is according to the given exponent. So does anyone want to try? So here we are going to use the exponent value in the condition, because that is the variable here which is of interest to us. That is governing the number of times the base is multiplied by itself. Okay, that's the power. So we're going to check if the exponent is greater than, while the exponent is greater than equal to, let's say, 1. Till then we want to do this. Now, do you think that this is enough? Will this run correctly if I write like this? Forget about the else. Let's say our result is in this int variable here. It is initially equal to base, while exponent
Exponent should be minus minus in while loop.
Right. Exponent should be decremented here, because if we do not decrement, then it is an infinite loop. It will never end. It will keep multiplying the result with base forever until your program exhausts the memory, stack memory allocated to you, and you will get a stack overflow error if you do write a infinite loop. Okay. Right. So here we are going to check. First, we have initialized the result value to base. Then we are checking while the exponent is greater than equal to 1. We are going to take the result multiplied by base, and then we decrement the exponent value. So let's do a dry run. If the base value is 2, for the first test case, when the base is 2 and the exponent is 2, result initially is here 2. Exponent is 2. 2 is greater than 1.
I think exponent should be pre-decremented.
Here, okay, I'll come to that. Here 2 is greater than equal to 1, right? So it's the while condition is true. When it's true, we go inside the loop. And here the result is when the RHS is computed, which is the result, which is base. Base times base means 2 times 2. Then exponent will become what? Initially it was 2, now it will become 1. It should be greater, actually, not equal, it should be greater. Because we have already initialized it to base 1. We will multiply it by exponent minus 1 time, not exponent time. And it when we are using the ternary decrement operator, increment operator individually, then it does not matter if we use a post or a pre operator. Both will work in similar way because it is not being assigned.
Okay.
So you could use here minus minus exponent and or exponent minus minus, both will work fine. Now in this case, I think this is enough. But we have one more test case which is not going to be handled by this, which is when the exponent is 0. Now when the exponent is 0, we initialize the result equal to base, and the exponent 0 is greater than 1 will not be true, but the result will be printed as base, which is, for this test case, it's 100, 0, it will print 100. but it should print 1. So as you suggested earlier, we can use a if condition initially, which will check the exponent value equal to 0 or not. If it's 0, it prints 1. If not, it will go ahead and try to compute the exponent. Just erase this. And let's look at the program. So we have here two variables, base and exponent, which are the inputs. Then we have another variable called result. We first scan the inputs, base and exponent values. Then we check if exponent equal to 0, then we set the result equal to 1. Otherwise, we set the result equal to base. Then we check while exponent is greater than 1, we are going to multiply the result with base and decrement the exponent. And after that, we are going to, in the end, we are going to print the value of result.
I think we can do also without using if and else condition.
Yeah.
If we can, अगर हम पहले रिजल्ट को 1 डिक्लेयर कर रहे हैं
Right.
तो while लूप में हो जाएगा, नहीं तो इस तरह से वो प्रिंट कर सकता है रिजल्ट.
Right. I think what you mean. What you mean is this: first we initialize result equal to this, and if we use this greater than equal to 1, right? So if we do that, then we are not going to need an if condition, because result is initialized to 1. If exponent is 0, then this while will never execute and we will print value as 1. If exponent is greater than 0, then it will, this while loop will be executed exponent times. Like if the exponent is 4, then first 4 is greater than equal to 1, true. Then it will become 3, 3 greater than equal to 1, true. 2 greater than equal to 1, true. 1 greater than equal to 1, true. So it will execute exponent times, and we won't need another if condition. Yeah, so that's correct. So these were the questions that I had for today. These are the, well, we discussed 4 programming questions and a bunch of quiz questions today for the week 4. Do you have any doubts in the questions that we discussed today? Or any other doubts? Okay, so for yeah, you should try to write C programs because only writing programs, initially writing programs can be a little challenging, but with practice it will be. Okay, then if you don't have any doubts, I actually finished all the material quite early today. The session is usually for 2 hours, but I finished it in 1 hour. So we can close the session now, and for week 5 you can join the upcoming session.